Welcome to the webinar. Kingsley number one. Welcome, welcome. So, Brent, you said it's beautiful where you are now. Where are you right now?
I am in near Lyon, France, where I live, and yeah, it's 26 degrees Celsius here for those of you that work in Celsius, and sunny and absolutely gorgeous. It's like perfect weather. Been getting out on the bike a lot, and yeah, doing a lot of work too, balancing everything with the weather. I just can't be in a bad mood, man. I can't. So
It's great. I should move somewhere like that.
yeah,
Welcome, 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 Renee. Welcome, other people. Welcome, everyone that's joining. Yeah, where I am right now, it's getting hot, super hot. It's like 32, 33, but humidity is like in the 70s.
yeah, that's brutal.
Super hot. All right, we're going to get going in about 30 seconds. Thanks to everyone that's joining. We see a lot of people joining in right now. Kick out a note taker. All right, over to you, Brent.
Well, hello everyone. Yeah, today we're talking about all these different strategies that Seller Candy is using, and I was really glad to blast this out to our list and put it on socials a couple times because I know John, you guys have been doing such good work for 6, 7 years now. I mean, I feel like you've been in the game for forever. I've seen your company evolve and grow over all these years, and have a lot of respect and admiration for that. So, yeah, that's why I'm excited to be here. And I guess self intro for me. I'm Brent from AMZ Pathfinder, now at a company called Sellerplex, recently merged with them, and we've gone public about that news. Yeah,
Public.
and we're an advertising agency, but now we do many other things. Some things we don't do are the great things that Seller Candy does. So here we are.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Brent. So I have a short presentation to do today, maybe somewhere between 25 and 30 minutes. If you have any questions throughout, if you're live here, if you're watching live, you're watching the recording, sorry, we can't answer your questions. But if you're watching live, feel free to put them in the chat on the way through, or the Q&A, whichever one works. There's a chat and there's a Q&A, so one of them will work. And click one of those buttons, which is just at the bottom of your screen during the webinar.
Yeah, I'll keep my eye on that too. Okay.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. All right. Can you see my screen, Brent?
Coming through on this side. Yep, looks good.
Love it. Perfect. All right. Straight into it. So this is a very special webinar. And this is Fast Amazon Fixes, Seller Candy's Guides to Suspensions, Reviews, and Flat Files. And we're going to go through a lot of technical stuff here. So this is really for people that are live and selling, been selling for a while on Amazon, and how to solve things and get things done quickly with seller support. So make sure you get your screenshots ready, your notes, and let's get into it. So what we're going to be going over today, we're going to be going over how to fix three of the most common critical Seller Central problems that we commonly work through at Seller Candy. And stay until the end because we're going to be sharing resources, so SOPs, templates, and lots of useful stuff for you to actually download and take away with you. So if you ever do have these problems, you can solve them for yourself or ask us if you need us. So quickly, our belief at Seller Candy as a company is that selling on Amazon should never be about running around in circles after Amazon seller support to fix things, which should be small, which completely ruins your focus and takes your eyes off the big picture and cycling in France. Shouldn't be about having too much on your plate so you don't have time or energy to hire and train staff, which means you have to do everything yourself. And it shouldn't be about not knowing what to outsource first and wasting time that could be spent elsewhere in your business. Also, it shouldn't be about waking up in the morning and immediately starting to fix problems you didn't cause. We don't believe in grinding 24/7. That's not what gets results. And it's not about finding some secret marketing tactic that no one has ever found before, or having some complicated hiring and training process. So, what you're going to learn, and you're also going to learn today, how to leverage expert assistance to create time and space in your business, how to position yourself as an owner rather than an operator in your Amazon business so you can actually get things done. You're going to know exactly what you should and shouldn't be doing in your Amazon business. At the end, we'll show you how to grab an expert team who knows exactly what you need before you even know it. Sound good? All right, let's get into it. A bit about me. I look much better in that picture. Founder and CEO of Seller Candy. We've served over 500 clients. Before that, I was a seller. As Brent said, we've been doing Seller Candy now for over 5 years. I've run Amazon business for the last over 9 years, and because of that, I get to speak, I get to go around the world, and I get to do cool things. I also got to meet my wife by being able to travel and live in cool different places. So I currently live in Vietnam and met my wife and just had a baby over here. So let's get started. All right, into step one, which is solving seller central issues effectively. So it's how to solve problems faster, more efficiently, and get without getting into intricate systems you have to do yourself. So it's a Monday morning, it's 8 a.m., and you've got a performance notification and it's a suspended listing. Who's been there? I've been there. And we all know who's behind these suspended listings, don't we? It's Jeff sitting there in his lair, suspending these listings. So this is exactly how agents go about solving a listing suspension. So you're going to get all these steps, and later on, I'm going to refer back to these. So you'll understand the method as we get further through the process, but just trust me on the first bit, and then we'll get back to it in about 5 minutes' time. So for step number one is to raise a case in seller support and ask them what they believe it is. So this is a very long shot of getting a real answer, but you do this to get step one ticked off the list. And in that step, you need to write down the case log, so the case ID number. So you raise the case and you write down the case ID number. You then immediately raise another case to seller support, asking them to enable your category listing report. So the category listing report is basically a flat file that has all your listing info in it already. And the reason that we want them to enable this is because we need to make some changes to the listing because of your suspension. But you probably can't change it because Amazon's probably already locked down your listing when they suspended you. So you're stuck in a cycle of you need to update the listing, but Amazon won't let you. So this is why we're downloading the category listing report. Once you've enabled it and you've raised that case, it'll appear here in your inventory report section, and you can just download it. So yeah, make sure you're taking some screenshots. Okay, so then once you've done that, you need to complete these initial steps for the 5 top issues. So these 5 top issues are probably 80-90% of any issues you're going to actually have on suspended listing. There's always the random ones, but let's go through the biggest ones first. So one is a product policy violation. So if there's a product policy violation, we have to sanitize the listing. What that means is to remove anything that Amazon might have flagged with a bot, a keyword, basically anything juicy or sexy about your listing. So first, you have to go into a category listing report and delete everything, basically delete all your content. You want to replace this content with generic, basic explanation of the product. This is a black phone case. Nothing special, no brand names, not referencing anything. Just make it as generic as possible. You then re-upload this as a bulk file, and you note down the bulk upload number. So this is a separate thing. Once you upload your feed file or your bulk file, you note down that number. That's your second piece of information that you've just written down. All right, that's it. That's the first steps for that one. 2, authenticity. So if it's an authenticity issue, Amazon's questioning if your product's real. So you have to prove it's real and prove where it came from. So if it's an authenticity issue, you have to locate the invoices when you bought the product. So whether that's an invoice from you, from the manufacturer, from a supplier, if you're reselling something, you need to find that. Then you need to annotate this invoice by marking the products in red and adding a description. I spelled description wrong. But basically, usually your product is not the same name on the invoice as it is on Amazon, because that would be terrible and crazy. So you want to make sure you put a box around it, put an arrow to it, annotate what this product is, why it's different, what this is for. So just basically make it as if someone's looking 10 seconds and they can match the thing to the thing that they're looking for. You then
John,
upload.
question I have.
Yeah.
If someone's not annotated the invoice, is that a step that people often skip and you see when they send it into Amazon? Amazon's still unable to identify the authenticity because it's not been annotated properly. Is that a common mistake?
Yes, 100%. Or at least you just go around a few cycles. So yes, maybe they'll get it eventually. But as you know, with Amazon, you can submit the same things 3 times and you'll get 3 different answers. So annotating
So
is
this is
definitely
increasing your chances drastically by making sure everything is pointed out and like properly outlined.
yes, 100%. You're just trying to tick the box. Like all we're trying to do with everything we do is make it as easy as possible for the person getting paid $3 an hour to solve it within the 15 seconds that they've got to do it. So, yeah.
Yeah, basically you serve it to them on a silver platter such that they can do their job as effectively and quickly as possible, get that resolved, and move on to the next, right? You have to consider from their perspective. Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
smart.
Eventually AI will take over, but not yet. Take all of our jobs. So, IP violation number three. So IP violation is a bit different because you'll receive an email from Amazon saying this person says you violated their IP. And it's from the brand owner. So they'll give you the email address of the brand owner so you can actually directly chat with this brand owner. Sadly, these guys don't usually respond. So you need to use the email provided to reach out and ask for clarification. So you say, hey, I received this. What's the problem? I don't think there's a problem unless you're blatantly violating their IP, and then you should probably stop selling the product. And you want to track all correspondence. So you'll reach out to these people, say once a day, once every 2 days. Once you've made 5 attempts, you've got evidence that you can share screenshots and evidence you've tried 5 times. Um, Amazon can then take that as evidence that this person is not acting in good faith. Because if they made this complaint, then they should be monitoring the email address that they sent it from. So the goal here is to track it and raise a case back to Amazon saying, hey, this person says I violated the IP, but they're not responding. Can you help me out? Because it seems like they've done something in bad faith here. That's how you get it removed. All right, number 4, we're getting our way through a product safety issue. So if there's a product safety issue, you have to prepare a plan of action to appeal. Biggest thing here is everyone says they you review the issue raised by Amazon and they say, oh, there's not an issue. This isn't an issue. It sounds like rubbish. It's not even my product, whatever it is. And then we think we have to be right. And as I always say to my team, do you want to be right or do you want to be rich or do you want to make money? I think we all agree that we'd rather make money than be right. So we accept the issue no matter what the issue is, and we write this plan of action in the format that Amazon wants us to receive it. So you need to create a plan of action that addresses these 3 points, even if you think they're not valid. One, you got to accept the issue. Like, yes, I understand. 2, what steps do you take immediately? Easiest one for that usually is, oh, I asked support to do a bin check. I asked them to check everything, to check that issue, whatever it was, isn't in with everything else. 3, plan of actions. This will never happen again. So even if it's Amazon has sold one of your products, a returned product of yours, which is one of the biggest reasons this happens, you say, I will not resell. I will make sure Amazon doesn't resell my product by ticking the box in the back end that says they can't resell refurbished products. Then you upload the response to the case, and that's it. Plans of action aren't as difficult as people make out. It's not difficult to write one, but you just have to accept the issue and put a clear plan that they can see that you've got a plan going forward. And most of the time, there's not much you need to do. You just need to write a plan to say that you're going to do the things you're doing already, because usually it's things you're doing already.
It's kind of like recertifying your commitment to the regulations that they're setting forward. And the one thing I'll mention, John, you have it under 2A here, accept
Mm.
issue. I had so many conversations with clients over the years that are like, what they said doesn't even make sense. I don't accept this. Like, and what they want to do, and this is a natural human instinct, is fight against it and be like, no, I don't accept this premise. But the point is not to be right. Like you said, the point is to continue selling and get the product back up and continue, listing it. Whatever you need to do to kind of accept that is on you. But ultimately, you need to like accept responsibility, even if it's not really something that you did.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's hilarious sometimes, like the stuff that they
Hmm.
say,
Yeah,
but
it's a comedy. Yeah.
it's comedy, but that's just is what it is. Um, yeah, and we get it done. So yeah, you accept what it is, and you just move on, move on, move on, move on. But yeah, if you find anyone like that, we can take turns beating them over the head and telling them just accept the issue. All right. So what you have to do then is you need to complete 5 steps. The 5th one is hazmat. So hazardous material means Amazon thinks there's something in your product or something in what's going on. That means that it might be hazardous for them to keep in their warehouse or hazardous to ship. Hopefully you know if your product's hazardous or not. If you don't, we're in trouble. But if applicable, if you do have a hazardous product and Amazon already knows, you upload your safety data sheet from your supplier or your testing. So hopefully you've got one. Usually your supplier's already done it if they're selling to you. If not, you've probably done it yourself already. If it's not applicable, you search for the STS exemption sheets in the search bar. You complete the sheet for your product category, and then you upload to the case created by Amazon. So pretty straightforward. Um, yeah, what if this doesn't work? This is the question I get all the time. What if it doesn't work or it doesn't work? This is when you have to get into the weeds and do the delete relist. So this kind of sucks and it's kind of scary for a lot of people. But what you have to remember here is that once you create a listing, it's no longer in your account, it's in Amazon's central catalog. So what that means is that if you delete it, you're not going to lose reviews, you're not going to lose sales history, but it is going to disappear from your account. And if it's the first time you've done it, you might want someone to hold your hand or just make sure you're doing the right thing. But this is what Amazon says: delete it, wait 24 hours, and then relist it. This is basically a way of getting Amazon to refresh the listing. That makes sense. Then, what if you're still having issues? Because this is where we get into, and this is where the real time investment comes in, but this is where the magic that we've just shown you pays off. So you're going to call up Amazon, they're going to answer the phone, they're going to say, all right, cool, this is the issue. They say, great, okay, I'm going to raise a case for you. And you go, oh, no need. I did step one. I've got my case ID number. I raised it 2 days ago when I first started this process. Here's the case. And they go, great, cool. All right, awesome. You've done something right. Step two, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a feed file for you and try and update the listing, get it up that way. And you say, touche. Number two, I've already done that. Here's my bulk file upload number. I did it. Shit didn't work. Sorry. They're going to go, oh, okay, all right, O3. Well, what we're going to have to do then is do a delete relist. We're going to have to delete it, wait 24 hours, come back up, and then we'll see, and then we'll contact you again in a couple of days. And you say, oh, no, sir, I've already done this. We've done step three. So they go, oh, well, you've done everything which I'm supposed to do, so I have to escalate you. They may say that, or they may try and hang up on you. But anyway, you need to keep calling back and telling them this until they escalate you to the leadership team or the escalations team, and those people can refresh the listing and get you back up. And because you've followed the process already, you don't have to spend a week, 2 weeks going back and forth with sales support trying to do the other stuff, which you've done already, but takes them even longer than it takes you. So we're trying to accelerate through the system.
Right, beautiful. And John, one thing I want to stress is like that takes a lot of organization and foresight. So you have to be listing down these case numbers and here's the upload ID, and you have to have that stuff like at the ready. So this is not something you can do haphazardly and then just hope and pray when you get on the phone you're going to remember like the case ID number. This requires like foresight in record keeping.
Yes, 100%. But now you've got the process, you can take our process and you can follow it. Um, and I'll share some resources at the end. Actually, you can actually download this as well. So there wasn't a magic pill. And our ethos is if I can tell them how to solve my issue, then they can follow my process as opposed to me following their process, which is takes forever. They have to go back and forth. It's just a really slow way of doing things. So here's a breakdown of the process. You download the flat file or Amazon's feed file, the category listing report. You make edits to make a clean version. You delete the listing, wait 24 hours, re-upload, and then you call them until they fix it. Don't let them tell you to go away. You've done all the stuff they're going to do. Just sit there, and that's it. That's the simple process for doing this. So we are flipping the issue resolution process on its head. How about another? Do you want one, Brent? Okay,
I
let's do
do.
it.
Hit me up. Let's go.
So it's oh no, you have an unfair bad review. What do you do apart from curse their name? And there's always someone rejecting all of your hard work on the other end of seller support, isn't there? It is Dr. Pesos. So this is exactly, he's given up on yachts. He's just there clicking the ban button. So this is exactly how our agents go about removing bad reviews. So just quickly for anyone to get you up to speed, so we're all on the same page. There are two types of ways buyers leave reviews. One is feedback on your seller account. So this is how the seller's treating customer. So this is only on the seller profile page. And the second is the review that can be, sorry, product reviews that can be seen on the product detail page. So they're two different ones. So that's two. So here's the process to remove seller feedback. First, you log into Seller Central, you go to Performance, Feedback. Then on the right-hand side, just here, you've got a little drop-down arrow. You can see Request Removal. So this is kind of simples, but it's not as simple as it used to be. You can request removal for anything that isn't to do with you. So if you're an FBA seller, like most of us are probably here, then only thing to do with you is how you treat customers. Amazon deals with shipment, deals with product quality, deals with everything else, and they don't want product reviews there. So you can have to remove anything that isn't this seller was rude to me when I messaged them or something like that, and that isn't anything to do with your customer support. It used to be that Amazon would remove everything immediately, then that happened, but that only now happens about a third of the time. So the other two-thirds of the time, if they refuse to remove it, you need to keep the case where they respond to you open and either transfer it to your assistant, or if you're your own assistant, do it yourself and just keep it open and keep saying, hey, no, there's a problem with this. Please fix it. It shouldn't be there. It's not a valid piece of feedback. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so the trick with this is basically keeping the volleyball in the air, right? You want to just
Yeah,
keep popping it up, make sure it stays there
that's it.
until it gets resolved.
Let's keep pushing it forward, batting it forward. So to remove a product review, this is the process. My formatting has gone really weird. So first, you can report abuse. It's all in a weird order. So what you do here is on that image just there, you click the report abuse button, you write a clear reason why it's inappropriate, which means it has to be why it validates Amazon's guidelines. So you can't report abuse for non-violations. You have to go into the Amazon's reviews terms of service and say violates this guideline. When people were getting stung for one of the service providers who did removing fake reviews got stung a year or so ago, it's because they were just blasting every negative review without saying how it violates Amazon's guidelines. So yeah, don't do that. You write clear reason, then this report isn't appropriate. Number two, contact seller support. So Amazon may or may not remove reviews with real content violations. This process is really difficult. As seller support, you should just send canned responses. So you can keep trying if you believe the review is in violation of Amazon's guidelines. So for brand owners, you can find the order ID of the person who left the bad product review using the brand dashboard. So this is the main way to do it. So if you're a brand owner, you go into brand analytics, you find the negative review, and you can message this person once. So it has to be the best message you've ever written, saying, we want to help you, blah, 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 blah. And you can't ask them to change the review. You can get into a conversation if they respond to this message. The goal is to make something they're going to respond to. But yeah, you can't say, please change your review. I'll give you $50.
No, that would definitely be outside of the terms of service and scope of Amazon, right? What you're trying to do is ameliorate the situation such that they feel compelled to change it, right? That's the premise.
Yes, ameliorate. That is an amazing word. It's a $15 word.
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, like I wish I didn't even know the word ameliorate. So, so John, that's me. You've told me how to fix some of the hardest to solve issues in my account, but what if I have technical problems during the update? So what would they be? Flat files. Who likes flat files? Nobody likes flat files. So this is how to get unstuck with flat files. Actually, Brent, you might want to steal this one. So this is the secret sauce that you need. There are 12 types of common flat file error codes. These actually look like button cell battery codes, don't they?
They really do.
Yeah. 2032 is the big one. So what you have to do here, you can download our definitions here, but these are the top 12 most common ones. What I've actually included here in this download is our actual SOP. So I just extracted it from our files, PDF'd it, and this is our real SOP for fixing flat file issues. So you just download the attached document, you run through the steps, and you celebrate you finally got flat files to work. I was going to take you through 12 different types of flat file responses, but it's boring. Um, so for example, you get a 8032, not a 2032. Child's queue already assigned to a parent, and you just run through the steps. Check the verification wizard, check the marketplaces, see if it belongs to another seller, follow it all through, and you're solved. And now you can do flat files. So does that help? Hopefully. And any questions before we continue, Brent?
When we're talking about flat file errors, is
Hmm.
there a specific one that you see the most? Like you gave the example of 8032, which has something to do with parent-child variations in listings. Of those 12, is there one that stands out in your mind?
In my mind, it's a very good technical question. No, not personally, I haven't dealt with a flat file error in years because we have our operations team. Next time I can bring someone on. Actually, I don't know what the most common errors are anymore. If
Well, it's all in the guide, right? That's why
Well, in
you
the
guys
guide,
put
yeah,
together the guide.
yeah.
Yeah.
Download the guide. Great one. Thanks for plugging
Fair
that.
enough. Fair enough.
But if anyone does have any specific errors, feel free to email me, and I can get you an answer for anything you have specifically. Who's in the audience now or watching the replay? So, part number two is we've done the three most common issues to solve. We're going to go into the support, and then we're going to go into how to know what to tackle in your business first. So, the next two parts. So, part two is getting the expert support without the drama. So, how to get real expert assistance without paying ridiculous consulting fees or wasting time in hiring, training, and managing the old person. No, the wrong person. So, our ethos at Seller Candy is that assistants must be experts. I know it sounds simple, but people that we hire to do things for us should know more than us how to do that thing. Not necessarily everything, but that thing. Otherwise, we are continuously monitoring them. So, when usually before, when we were looking for people to hire, we check Upwork, we check Fiverr, we check Indeed, we check Monster, but none of these really worked. Because what happens when you hire an employee to support you? You're constantly asked for guidance, problems don't get solved, and you can't trust them to take care of your livelihood. So you check everything, wasting your time and going around in circles, which at the end of the day is opportunity cost. So wasted time and money and hiring and training. So you need someone who can reliably take care of the busy work so you can focus on growth. Here are some of the amazing reviews of AMZ, no, sorry, of Seller Central. This is Seller Central's actual reviews from Trustpilot, I think a few years ago. Sign up for ulcers, absolutely diabolical. 5 months of wasted incompetence. Sorry, Brent, now you've changed your name. I was going to
I caught that.
talk
I
your
caught
old
that, but
company
thank you.
name.
Yeah. Thank you. Well,
So
hopefully no ulcers to anyone. Yeah, that's pretty catastrophic.
I really hope so too. So, how can you get the team you need without hiring the full-timers who know your business inside out? And how can you access affordable experts, real experts, and it still be affordable? So, simple is experience and numbers. You need access to a larger team of who are well paid and usually better paid than your business can reasonably afford because you don't want to be spending that much on individual people. For example, with AMZ Pathfinder, how much does CMO cost? 150 to $250,000 a year. So why is this good for you? Get access to a team of real experts with a deep understanding of Seller Central. You eliminate the need to source, hire, and train and manage your back-end work. And there's no need for oversight because you can trust they'll get things done. And this is a scalable solution. So as you grow your team, you can easily add capacity. So that's step two. Just talking a little bit about how to actually get access to better resources for your business because, the quality, you can't deliver amazing things without amazing people or amazing partners. If we have average people, we get average results. If you want amazing results, you need amazing people. So, step three of three, how to know what to give your team or assistant. So, how do you pinpoint the high impact areas in your business so you know where you're leaving money on the table, which means where you should go and pick up that money? So, what you need to do is an Amazon Seller Central gap review. Gap because you're looking for the gap between where you are now and where you want to be. And this is what we do for clients, but I'm also going to show you the process so you can do it yourself if you want to. So it evaluates all aspects of your Amazon presence, provides all logical steps you could take to smash your revenue goals, and gives a fresh perspective and an unbiased view because you're taking that step back and that 30,000 foot overview rather than being in the weeds and the minutiae every single day. It also, with our triage system, it shows you what challenges you should be facing first to make the biggest impact in the fastest time in your business. Okay, so I'm going to take you through. So element one, current state. So start here with a note or with a Google Sheet. I prefer Google Sheet, and go through every part of your business. So start with the back end of seller support. Go through the back end of Seller Central. Look at all your settings. Look at what's going on. Look at how things are linked. Look at what Amazon programs you're enrolled in. For example, we found a client who had enabled in Amazon's placement service, and they'd wasted $160,000 in the last year on Amazon's inventory placement service. So everything adds up. Make sure you're not enrolled in some programs you don't want to be enrolled in. Listing errors. So look for broken links, things that Amazon's updated, things that someone else has changed in the past, photos that Amazon's updated because they didn't like yours to an iPhone photo. Marketing overview. So looking at campaigns, what's live, what's not live, what's wasting spend. Again, add all these things and you see anything wrong, add it to your spreadsheet or to your list. Buy box suppressions. So you'd be surprised how many sellers have buy box suppressions, especially if you're in multiple marketplaces and have a lot of SKUs. If you're not using monitoring software, you should probably use monitoring software. And on top of that, make sure you're doing a full review every so often. Account health issues. So what's your voice of the customer saying? What are your notifications saying? What's your account health status? What's your IPI? Look at everything there. And expansion opportunities. So where are you now? Where do you want to be? And where could you be? A lot of time it's easier to expand to new markets than it is to launch brand new SKUs, depending on the product market fit, all that sort of stuff. If you sell American flags, you're probably not going to be able to sell them everywhere and have the same volume. So then we do impact. So impact here, you've got as you go down, so you make a column next to everything you've just written down, and you rate this from 1 to 10. It could be 1 being, why am I even write this down here? 10 being, if I change this, this is going to change my business, and this would, be a revolution in my business. So you go down, you rate everything in impact on a scale of 1 to 10. How much difference will it make? You look at every section from item 1, point by point. You evaluate what's going to make the biggest difference. And this takes the stress out of knowing what you should be working on. Because you're going down, you're going, oh yeah, I don't know why I haven't looked at that before, because if I change that, it changes everything. Maybe you're selling only in Canada. You're like, or maybe I should sell in the USA. Great, that's probably a 10. Maybe you should be selling in the USA. Then we do the cost time analysis. So you evaluate the amount of time it's going to take to fix or improve something. So again, scale of 1 to 10, approximate how much it's going to cost, and then check that against the impact, because there's no point throwing time and money against something that's not going to make a big enough difference. So, it could be something that's going to, get a patent a new product. Awesome. Great. That could be a 10, or it could, depending on what the opportunity is, but the cost and time impact is also definitely going to be a 10 on something like that, because it takes forever. You go around multiple years and multiple cycles of this stuff. And this brings us to the final element. Priority. Priority is priority. So, with priority, you want to look objectively at your listing and prioritize what at your list. Should say look objectively at your list and prioritize what you should be working on right now. Don't objectify your list. What's going to make the biggest impact for the lowest cost time effort? And this is the same process we've used to help consulting clients make profitable decisions for the last 5 years. So you can use it too. You can just take our process with you. So when you use a gap system review at Amazon Presence, you get a fresh perspective on where you are right now. You get the steps which will take to take you from where you are now to where you want to be. And this can make a huge impact on your business if you follow the plan. As always, plans are only as good as if you follow them. but this can make a massive impact of your business if you follow your plan. So I've been talking a lot and it's getting late here, but we've only had 40 minutes together so far. And because we had so many people register for this webinar, how would you like a personal one-on-one session to review how you could apply anything we've talked about today to your business? So I'm opening up 12 slots with the Seller Candy team because we have a few slots left this week where you can talk about any technical issue you have currently going on. It can be anything in your business. We have a team of absolute experts who know what they're doing and know what they're talking about when it comes to seller support and basically getting what you want out of Amazon. So the last time we did this, we found a listing that was been suppressed from search for months, and it cost tens of thousands of dollars to the person who was selling there, and they'd given up because they couldn't figure it out, and then they'd forgotten about it. Like another seller had a hidden missing inbound shipment totaling more than $7,800. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. We're always finding things when we do these for sellers where sellers are leaving money on the table. And I'm sure there's revenue sitting there somewhere in your business that we can help you find if you want to book in with us. And this is what we're going to find for you. Usually we charge $497 for a session, but for the first 12 of you, I can give that for free because that's what we're doing, because we love Brent and AMZ Pathfinder / Sellerplex. So if you want one, there is a link in the chat. Please do not share this link. This is a one-time only link. If you're watching the replay, Brent, I think we'll include this link with the replay, but it's in the chat right now. So we'll get that sent across. But yeah, don't share it outside of that replay because we will destroy this link. It's got AMZ Pathfinder in it, so we know if you shared it. So we have a few minutes for some Q&A, and we can answer anything you want.
Actually, John, I have a question
Yes.
about the gap analysis because you go through and you're talking about the scores and assigning scores and numbers to each one of these things, and then going by priority and impact. At the end of that, do you have a final score that is like summed up across the rows, and then you can see this is a high score, this is a low score, this is what I should actually move on? That's what comes to mind when you think about a gap analysis.
Yeah, that's what we do. Overall, we call it a triage score because we like big
Triage
words.
score. Okay.
But yeah,
And that's
that's
the final score. Very cool. Yeah, I want a gap analysis for my life, not just the Amazon business, for my whole life. So maybe you can do that for me. Biggest
Just
opportunities,
tell me everything about your personal life. And how many times a week was that, and how long? No.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But no, anytime I'm always willing to help. Um, yeah, you could help me with my cycling. I'm
That's right. We'll analyze that. We'll analyze some of the fitness. I know you've just recently had a kid, so maybe your sleep is what you need to analyze at this point. Yeah, more than anything.
he's sleeping like a baby, which is ironic because babies don't sleep. But he's sleeping pretty well, to be honest. Um, yeah, so we usually have some questions coming in. I think we had a couple of questions supported beforehand. Yeah. So someone actually before this submitted a couple of questions. One was, I have a suspended listing. Can I talk to the team about that? Yes. Yes, you can talk to the team about that. We can help you. We can point you in the right direction and let you know what's going on. Can I get this later? No, you can't. This is just now, and if you're watching the replay, it's just during the replay, which is, I think, another 48 hours. What if I don't have a problem now? This is the question we got last time. You probably do have a problem now, and I think we can help you find it. So that's what I would say. Everyone has problems. Almost everyone has problems in their account, and that's our goal in these sessions, is to help find it and help find money, ideally, because everyone likes money. I had a question in chat actually. What issues do you solve at Seller Candy? So at Seller Candy, we solve basically anything that you can raise a support case about. Our biggest belief, the worst part about selling on Amazon is dealing with Amazon. So we make it so you never need to talk to seller support again. We have a team of, I don't know, over 30 ex-Amazon seller support agents in the Philippines who we've worked with for years. We hire the best ones, and then we let them work for our clients as opposed to for Amazon. So we have people who were on the inside now know what to do. They're now on our side. They're not magic, but we follow best practice and process. Do we do one-off tasks? Another question. Yes, we do one-off tasks. Um, you just have to talk to our team about that. So, we do actually do a subscription model or one-off model, basically. So if we can add value ongoing, it's the best way to work with us. It's basically having a VA. We're about the same cost as a VA. Having a VA that knows Amazon inside out, that can fix things for you, who you never need to manage and you just give outcomes to. So our goal is to be like your dream VA. Um, but you can also do one-off things. And I think that's about it, really. That's all the pre-submitted questions. Brent, do you have any questions about anything, Seller Candy?
Not really. I just want to stress like one of the things you guys do with the gap analysis, and I know you've done this for our clients in the past, is you've gone in and looked at accounts. It's like you're kind of going in and you're turning over all the rocks and looking under them and saying, "Oh, there's a couple of, nasty critters under there that maybe this client, this business has long since forgotten about because this is not something that's on their plate. They're worried about like some shipment that's happening and they just hired a new person they're training and maybe there's something going on in their personal life. They totally forgot about this one ASIN that's like hung up on some weird reason that no one else on the team was watching
Mm,
because the management or the COO, the person who's in, the top of the structure, their attention is split in many different areas. And so when you guys come in and you do that kind of audit, it kind of uh, resurfaces some of these things. And, oh, okay, maybe this is something that Sour Candy can come and deal with. Okay, great, green light, go ahead and do that for us, please. That'd be fantastic. So I want to stress that there's these forgotten elements in these accounts. I mean, Seller Central is a sprawling place. It's almost like a city. You go in there and you're like, okay, I know these three or four areas. Like me as an advertising guy, I know advertising and inventory and brand analytics and a couple other things, right? But there's parts of Seller Central that I mean I would get lost in. I've been working on Amazon for like 10 years.
mm.
So yeah, nice to have a team of people that know it from the inside out and can jump into these like specific areas, let's call it.
Oh, thank you. Same, I mean, same for having someone else run your ads. I would never run my
Yeah,
own ads anymore because there's people that can do it better and their fees are not much compared to how much you're spending if you're operating at scale.
yeah, true.
Um, Especially if they're doing listing optimization as well or touching optimization stuff, because that's the bigger lever almost than ads, in my opinion,
Hmm.
making sure
Hmm.
things are actually working right or
Yeah,
DSP. Um, Love it. Well, thanks for having us so much, Brent. Thanks for hosting, and I will see you very soon.
sure thing. Thanks a bunch, John.
And thanks everyone for attending. Thanks for everyone that stayed to the end. And yeah, have a great Wednesday. I'll give you back 10 minutes.
All right, sounds good. Always nice to end early, short and sweet, right to the point, and I think very valuable. So thanks a bunch.
Thank you. See ya.